our project was about, we wanted to find out which way to face your house and for solar heating efficiency.
Conducted a hypothesis that if the glaciers keep melting, oceans will rise, and little by little.
Solar distiller is where you put dirty water like in the small container. There's supposed to be plastic blue wrap, but when the sun makes it evaporate, this part's shaded and then it falls down to the bottom where you can get clean water.
I was mixing liquids with water to get the acidity level of acid rain and to see the range of it. And then I started watering the plants. The plants that I use was lavenders. See how it can affect it.
All right. Why did you study the fan effect?
Well, here in Florida, it can get very hot, and people leave the fan on when they're not in their room. We really don't know if it made a change in the temperature in the room, so we decided to do the experiment. According to our project, the inside temperature with the fan on didn't change on the first try, the second try, and the third try. And that told us that, so in our conclusion, we wrote that after 3 times in our experiment, the fan truly does not change the temperature in the room, and this is also aligned to our hypothesis.
Our question is, how will cryogenics help preserve our resources? So we thought that if we freeze it for a long time, it would stay fresh.
Well, cryogenics is basically the behavior of low temperatures. So like Adam said, we froze the oranges for 4 days. And we figured out that they started being bad after 2 days, like there was no taste and no smell. So,
but even though our hypothesis was wrong,
Okay.
like the science brothers said, nothing is a failed experiment.
Of course. Yeah.
So we recommend this for like a short period of time to freeze foods, but it might work with other foods like meat or nuts.
Okay. But with fruits, it doesn't work for too long.
Not for too long. Maybe
It's about when global warming affects the polar ice caps into melting fresh water into the ocean. How does it affect the hatchery rate of brine shrimp? And the reason why I chose brine shrimp is because brine shrimp only hatch when they feel secure, so they can stay in their eggs for up to 48 years without dying.
So what did you do, Raymond, for your experiment?
Well, basically, our experiment was, can we levitate objects? And there's a train right here.
That is a maglev train. Yeah, it's a maglev train. It runs specifically on magnets, no fossil fuels or oil or anything. It's specifically on magnets, and because it's on magnets, it causes less friction on the train, and it runs up to 300 to 400 miles an hour because of no friction and no tracks and stuff.
So what was the purpose of your experiment?
The purpose of the experiment was to save energy instead of using fossil fuels, because eventually the fossil fuels will harm the environment so much.
Oh. And what did you come up with? What was your conclusion?
Well, it is possible. It will be able to float, and it will use less gas. It's just you need like the right materials. You need to know how to do it, and you need like the magnets that are quite big. The first 2 experiments failed because of about 3 reasons, and then the third one succeeded because we hot glued down the magnets to prevent the box from flipping over, and also put them all repelling the one magnet up.
Wow. So any recommendations for us?
I would recommend that in the future, car builders would kind of take this information and use it in the making of their cars.
Thank you.
It might be
They should. Thank you.